In parts 1 and 2 of this lesson series, we looked at the minor caged arpeggios and chord shapes and worked on anchoring those shapes to the fretboard through the root notes. Now we're going to layer in the minor pentatonic patterns, taking the same approach. So we'll learn the patterns and then we'll connect them to the fretboard through those root notes. This is what's going to allow you to see these shapes all over the neck. Once again, I have a free lesson pack in the description that contains the diagrams and tabs for this lesson, so be sure to grab that and reference it as needed as we work through the minor pentatonic scales. Like we did with the minor arpeggios, we're going to start with the minor caged chords and build out the pentatonic scales from there. This is going to help create a relationship between the chord and the scale, which becomes really useful when it comes to applying the scale over chord progressions or adding a little flavor to your rhythm playing. Then after that, we'll continue to bang the drum on root note anchoring, and I'll give you a couple of exercises that will help with that. Again, the root note anchoring is such an important part if you want to be able to see these shapes all over the neck. The root notes can be those landmarks that kind of tell you where you are on the fretboard. So if you already know the major pentatonic patterns, the good news is the minor pentatonic scale uses those exact same shapes. What changes is the root note and how those notes relate to that root. This comes from the relationship between relative major and minor scales. For example, the C major and A minor scales share the same notes. So as we work through the minor pentatonic positions, some of these patterns may already look familiar. Okay, so starting with C minor, and we're going to start on the 6th string. We have notes on fret 1 and fret 3. On the 5th string, we have notes on fret 1 and fret 3. And come across to the 4th string, we have the same pattern, frets 1 and 3. And we get to the 3rd string, we have 3rd string open. And then we have fret 3. So on string 2, we have frets 1 and 4. And on string 1, we have frets 1 and 3. So putting it together from the root note on the 5th string, we have the following pentatonic scale pattern. And moving up to the A minor shape, again starting with the 6th string. So we have fret 3 and fret 6. On the 5th string, we have the same pattern, fret 3 and fret 6. On the 4th string, we have fret 3 and fret 5. On the 3rd string, we have fret 3 and 5. And on the 2nd string, we have frets 4 and 6. And then on the 1st string, we have frets 3 and 6. So starting from the root note on the 5th string, we have the following minor pentatonic scale pattern. Okay, moving up to the G minor shape. Starting on the 6th string, we have fret 6 and fret 8. And on the 5th string, we have fret 6 and we have fret 8. On the 4th string, we have fret 5 and fret 8. On the 3rd string, we have fret 5 and 8. On the 2nd string, we have fret 6 and fret 8. On the 1st string, we have fret 6 and 8. So putting it together, starting from the root note on the 6th string, we have the following pentatonic scale pattern. And moving up to the E minor shape. Starting on the 6th string, we have notes on frets 8 and 11. On the 5th string, we have 8 and 10. On the 4th string, we have 8 and 10. And on the 3rd string, we have 8 and 10. Then on the 2nd string, we have frets 8 and 11. And on the 1st string, we have frets 8 and 11. So putting it together from the root note on the 6th string, we have the following minor pentatonic scale pattern. Okay, and finishing off with the D minor shape. On the 6th string, we have frets 11 and 13. On On the 5th string, we have frets 10 and 13. On the 4th string, we have frets 10 and 13. On the 3rd string, we have frets 10 and 12. On the 2nd string, we have frets 11 and 13. And on the 1st string, we have frets 11 and 13. So putting it together and starting from the root note on the 4th string, we get the following minor pentatonic scale pattern. Okay, so with the minor pentatonics in hand, we're going to work on the chord scale relationships and then get these shapes anchored to the fretboard. So for the first exercise, we're going to work on building the association between the minor pentatonic scale and the minor CAGED chord shapes. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the minor chord, and then starting from the lowest root, play through the full pentatonic scale that's related to that chord. So we're going to start with C minor in the open position. We're going to work our way up the fretboard through all the positions, then all the way back down. Again, starting with C minor in the open position. And up to the A minor shape. And on to the G minor. And E minor. D minor shape. And now we're at the C minor octave. Okay, now we're going to take this exercise and run it all the way back down to the open position, starting with the C minor octave shape. And back down to D minor. And on to the E minor shape. Back to the G minor shape. A minor shape. And we're going to finish up with the C minor shape. Okay, now we're going to work on anchoring the minor pentatonic shapes to the fretboard. So what we're going to do is work through the root notes of each position, play the root note, and then play the full scale pattern from that root note. I know I've harped on this a lot throughout this series, but when you can look at any note on the fretboard and see the structures around it, it's really powerful. So definitely put the time into these types of exercises because they're going to pay off in the long run. Okay, so starting with the C minor shape and working up the fretboard, we're going to start with the root on the 2nd string. And from the root on the 5th string. Moving up to the A minor shape, we're going to start with the root on the 5th string. And root on the 3rd string. to G minor, we're going to start with the root on the 6th string. And from the root on the 3rd string. And from the root on the 1st string. Okay, moving up to E minor, starting from the root on the 6th string. And root on the 4th string. And the root on the 1st string. Moving up to D minor, starting from the root on the 4th string. And the root on the 2nd string. Okay, moving up to the C minor octave shape, we'll start with the root on the 2nd string. And from the root on the 5th string. Okay, now we're going to take this exercise back down to the starting point, starting with the C minor shape, and starting with the root note on the 5th string. And from the root note on the 2nd string. Moving back down to the D minor shape, starting from the root note on the 2nd string. And from the root note on the 4th string. So back at the E minor shape, starting from the root note on the 6th string. And from the 4th string. And from the 1st string. Back down to the G minor shape, starting from the root note on the 6th string. And the root note on the 3rd string. And the root note on the 1st string. Back to the A minor shape, starting with the root note on the 3rd string. And from the root note on the 5th string. And back down to the C minor shape, starting with the root note on the 5th string. And from the root note on the 2nd string. So you want to repeat this exercise using each of the minor CAGED shapes as your starting point. And this is going to force you to work through those root notes to actually see the patterns and all the connections between them. So now we've taken the minor CAGED shapes and connected them to the minor pentatonic scale, which gives us another layer to the minor CAGED system. In the next lesson, we'll expand these same positions into the full minor scale and see how everything fits together. Don't forget to grab the free lesson pack in the description, and I will see you in part 4.